Hello guys, you're welcome yet again to another video, and in this video we're going to be designing our dashboard. Of course, right from the inception of this video we've been using React Material UI, and we are going to drawers. So we're going to be doing like a drawer kind of navbar stuff, and we are going to use responsive drawer. So our application is here. Let me just log in right now. Of course, I've saved my Laravel application, so let me log in. And my password is password. All right. And redirecting you to dashboard. And here we have the dashboard of our application, saying here the dashboard. That doesn't sound cool. That doesn't look cool, right? All right. So now let's get into designing our dashboard. What I want to do now is really simple. I'm going to copy this here, and I'm going to have this copy the source. Now let me copy this and paste this in here, and I'm going to change the name from function responsive drawer, and I want to change this to, so I'm going to change this to dashboard. All right, so I'm going to change this to dashboard, and now that should, yep, you can see our dashboard. And if I just try and view this on a mobile device, it looks really responsive. Now that's cool. But the way this thing looks right now doesn't look so cool, right? I mean, not necessarily the view, but the way this whole code is, like, we want to split this a bit into a couple of chunks. It's not going to be the best file arrangement or the best code structure ever, but at least it's going to save us a couple of headaches later. So now what I want to do first of all is I'm going to get rid of this whole thing. And in our layout, so right now I wish I was using emotion.js. Never mind, let's get that. So now in our layout, we are going to go into the dashboard, and I'm going to create a file here. I'm going to call this general JSX styling.js, and I'm going to paste that in here, and I'm going to do export. But all right, before I do that, let me import something first, and this is going to be mixstyles. We're going to import mixstyles. All right, so we are going to import mixstyles here, and get rid of use theme. We're not going to need hue, and we're going to export default use styles. So let's do that. Export default. I want to export use styles, and now in dashboard we are then going to get rid of this, and we're going to import use styles from, and this is going to come from, we want to get into our layout folder. So here we are in the layout slash dashboard or home, dashboard slash general styling.js, and now we are, yep, so we saved that and we viewed that on the browser. It still looks pretty much the same, so we've succeeded in being able to split our JSX. Okay, so the next thing we are going to do now is we are going to find a way to create sort of like, say, a sidebar in our layout here. So let me call that sidebar.js, and here we're going to move a lot of code from here there. Let's see, we have this, looking at where, all right, this return, we have this div called classes.root that holds the app bar, and it kind of wraps the whole application. So what I like to do is I'm going to cut this from here, and I am going to paste this right after the nav. So right after this nav here, I'm going to paste that here, and of course our application is going to throw an error because we don't have a parent div. So I'm going to create, or more like say, universal div that houses all of the components, or a component that houses all of the components, and I'm going to leave that here. And now when I save this, yep, we have this stretching right into our component. So we're going to trash that later, but first of all, now that we have this looking pretty nice, what I can do is I am going to cut this right from here down here, from here basically down to where it ends, and we are going to place that inside the sidebar, and then we're going to add a little styling. But here we have a couple of things we also need to pick out, like this drawer function. And well, again, let me see. Oh, sorry, this drawer. All right, so yeah, so what I'm going to do is, yeah, the drawer. So now let's cut this from here, from this div down here. So let's do that. I just want to take note of where exactly this stops, and this is the class name. So we are going to cut this. So let's cut this from here down to here, and Ctrl X, and no, not that. All right. So we are going to create a functional component here, React function, RFC. And now we are going to get rid of this div and place this right here. And you can see this is using the use style. So we would need to import use styles from, so this is within the same folder, so general, right? And we'd also need to do a couple of things here. Let's get this and get this in here, const classes equal to use style. And before that return, we would need this down to this drawer here. And we're also going to get rid of this out of here too. And we're going to place that in here in the sidebar basically. So this handle drawer toggle, this function is simply handling the hide and the show on mobile view. And this is actually the use style which we created the general JSX styling. And let me just use this particular video to throw a little hint on my next series. All right, and I'm going to be creating a Laravel with React hooks and maybe Redux or Context API. I'm not so sure yet. And we're going to be creating a blog app from the admin, from the dashboard down to the whole UI. We're going to be using both Design and React materials. So it's going to be awesome. And that's where I'll be able to explain some of this, or I'll be able to explain React hooks properly, because here they're using a lot of hooks. Like they're using the use state hooks right here, which just helps us manage our state in functional based components instead of it actually kind of gets rid of the this.state. And then we also have the use effect and a lot of, like I think there are about 10 hooks or so. I can't really remember right now, but we're going to look at that in the next series. But let's focus on this. So now we just get rid of this here, and we have this drawer here, and this returns this, and we need to import from here. So let's just import all these things that are going, like boom, we can see, you can see me. You understand what I mean? Like you can see me. Like the components are like, bro, man, you've not used this here, so why did you call us in the first place? All right, so let me get rid of, we're still going to need use styles, right? Yep, so let's just do const classes equals use styles. And I'm sure we are also still needing use themes too. So const theme, use theme. And we also need to pass the props here too. And now we can save this. And when we get to our browser, yep, here is what we see. So now it's time for us to import our sidebar components. So we're going to import sidebar. I think I'm using camel casing or Pascal casing. Sidebar, and this is going to come from layout, dashboard, sidebar. And we are going to use our sidebar components here, sidebar. And now once we do save that, it tells us use theme is not defined, typography is not defined, and sidebar.js. So let's quickly import typography and sidebar.js. So let's import typography and use themes. Let's also get this in here. That's because we did not actually import use themes. So we would need to import use themes from material UI core design. And now when we save that, that should do. So yep, here we have this. And the first thing I want you to notice is if I go to inspect elements, let me show this a bit. I want you to look up here and notice exactly when this particular thing disappears. So let's keep moving, let's keep moving, let's keep moving, let's keep moving. Move. And it disappears around 600, like 599, exactly 599. At 600 pixels as the width it displays. So we're going to do a couple of media queries to help us with that. So here I am going to create a new CSS file, and I'm going to call this dashboard.css. All right, dashboard.css, and we are going to import dashboard.css in our dashboard component here. So let's do that. Let's import, and this is coming from our layout /dashboard/dashboard.css, right? Yep, dashboard.css. So now let's save that. And now here we are going to do a couple of media queries. So at media screen and max width of 600 pixels, we want to do a couple of things here. And what are those things? First of all, we kind of want this main component here. All right, let's wrap this inside another div. And this div, we're going to give it a class name of, say, main content. And let's just cut this out. Hope that does not break nothing. Let's just hope it breaks nothing. Let me see if that breaks nothing. So we view application, and yep, it doesn't break anything. So we call this main content. So let's just copy this right now. Go to our dashboard.css. And for the main content, I'm going to do a margin left of 120 pixels, sorry, of 240 pixels. And the reason why I'm doing this margin left of 240 pixels is because if I come over here, you can see we have this draw with taking 240 pixels by default. So whenever this, you can see how that looks now. You can see how that looks. It automatically has the 240 pixels. But there's a problem. We want once it gets to 600 pixels. That's why I added this media query here at media screen. Once it gets to 600 pixels, we basically want it to shrink up a bit. So I'm going to bring back the media queries. We're going to say at media queries, we can then say the margin left should be 0 pixels basically. All right. Oh, sorry. We are supposed to target the main content. So main content has a margin left of, say, 0 pixels. Save that. And now if I get to that point where let's see, it's not reflecting why. Boy, I missed that. This is a class, so now that should work. That should pretty much work now. Yep, you can see it takes the full screen of the width. So if I just get this to be on full, you can see how that looks. And most importantly, we have been able to add a little bit of structure in here just to make it a bit neater. So that's it, guys, for this video. In the next video, we're going to be looking at adding a new contact. So basically, we are going to add a route, add a column in our sidebar, remove all the columns in the sidebar, add a new column in our sidebar. That's going to help us add a new